Hey guys, I'm Erik Peterson, and I'm a men's dating and relationship coach for 𝗧𝗵𝗲 And for today's attraction tips video, we're going to be talking about demonstrating value and your self-worth. Now, when it comes to attraction and relationships, it's really important that you understand that as a man, you are always being judged. And it's not just women that are judging you, it's men that are judging you too, but obviously it's especially women. And it doesn't matter if you're in a romantic relationship with her or not. She's always subconsciously sizing you up to see what you're made of. I talk about this a little bit in my video, Women Will Always Test You, which I highly encourage that you watch to help you fully understand this. But some guys think that they could get around this judgment by just being themselves, and they think that women will just have to accept them for who they are. And by no means am I suggesting that you should have to prove yourself to anybody, but you are still being judged on your lack of effort and investment in yourself and society, regardless of what you think about that. If this is you, then your sexual market value has dropped significantly, which means that even if you're naturally good looking, you have lost a bunch of points in the eyes of women. Now, could women not holding themselves up to the same standard be interpreted as hypocritical? Well, of course, but this is also part of their instinct in choosing the best man in order to mate and produce strong, beautiful offspring. Now, I came across this quote from the Rational Male blog that I wanted to share with you guys today because it kind of fits in with what we're talking about today. And the quote goes, "Hypergamy, which is a woman's sexual instinct." We haven't really talked about hypergamy and what it really means, but I have included it in a lot of what I teach. But we're going to get to that one of these days. So it says, hypergamy demands a constant subliminal reconfirmation of a man's worthiness of her commitment to him, so there is never a parallel of experience. So in this attraction tips video, I'm going to share with you a story which is a really good example of this. And it's also a great example of how women test you, especially when they're starting to lose respect for you. And it's also a really good example on how the man in this story, how he just knocks this test from his girl just right out of the park. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. All you have to do is head over to my website at 𝗧𝗵𝗲, click on the contact tab, and shoot me a message from there. All I ask is that you keep your questions or your words to me rather short and concise, just 1 to 2 paragraphs max, so I have time to get through all these emails that I get from you guys, which I do love. But I will get back to you as soon as I can. I do have to take care of my paying clients first, but if you're just a little patient, I will get back to you as soon as I can. I will either respond with a video or I will give you a written response. But if you can't wait and you need to get in touch with me right away, the best way to do that is, again, head over to my website at 𝗧𝗵𝗲, click on the coaching tab, and there I have several options for you to choose from. I offer emergency email coaching where I will respond to you within 24 to 48 hours, depending on which option you select. And I also have a couple of monthly coaching packages where I will work with you throughout the month to try to get whatever relationship issue you're having turned around and get you back on track. Now, this story that I wanted to share with you guys today, you may have read it or have come across it. It's from a couple years ago, and it actually went viral. And there's a good reason for it, which you'll see in a minute. And I read it a long time ago, but just something the other night reminded me of it. And so I looked it up, and as I was rereading it, I was like, I got to share this with you guys because there's a really good example of how all this stuff works and how to handle, really tough tests from women. So before we go on with this, what I want you to do, in the description down below, I have posted the link to the story. And it is a story about a girl who wanted to have an open relationship temporarily while she went on vacation in Europe for 3 months. So I want you to pause the video, open up the description down below, and click on the link and go read the story, and then come back and we're going to discuss this. Okay, now that you guys are back, I have taken a couple notes. I'm assuming that you have read the story. You don't have to read the story, but you're going to be a little confused about what we're talking about. And just so you know, one of my lights went out while you guys were watching videos. I blame you because you must have jinxed me or something, but we're just going to have to deal with it for right now. But I have a couple notes about this story, and a couple things that I really wanted to point out to you guys. So first, I want you to take note that this was a blatant test on her part. I mean, it was completely unconscious, but she clearly saw her boyfriend as a man with no options besides her. And I suspect that at one point he was behaving alpha. I mean, he was able to attract her. And just going by the story, it really doesn't go into details, but it does seem like they're in a long-term relationship and maybe even living together. But I suspect that over time he became a little complacent with himself and in the relationship. And he shows us by his lack of ambition and zest for life. This is one of the reasons why I tell you guys all the time that you always just got to be pushing forward and focus on your goals and your ambitions. And what it seems like in the story is that she saw him as her homebody boyfriend that spent most of his time playing video games and watching Netflix. In fact, she blatantly says it. And she even said in the story that she wasn't too worried about him when she wanted an open relationship. She wasn't too worried about him going out and screwing other girls. She wanted to open the relationship for herself so she could screw herself through Europe. And she clearly saw herself as a prize and she was doing him a favor by simply being with him. Now, another thing I wanted you to take note is how he handled the situation. I mean, whether he realized it or not, he handled this completely alpha. He did it perfect. I can't think of another way that he could have handled this situation better. I mean, first, he made it clear that he was not happy about what she wanted to do, but he also knew that he couldn't control what she did while she was away in Europe for 3 months. I mean, he didn't forbid her. He didn't beg and plead. He didn't throw a fit. He didn't ask her not to go to Europe. He didn't even break up with her. He just simply said, if that's what you want, I can't stop you. And he's right. There's no way he could have stopped her if that's what she wanted to do. However, like any man living in reality, he assumed that she would follow through with her desires. I mean, what man wouldn't after his girl made a request like this? I mean, if your girl asked you if she could have an open relationship and you said no, would you think for a second that she wouldn't be doing it behind your back? I certainly wouldn't. And I'm a pretty trusting guy. I mean, I'm not jealous at all. And if my girl came to me and asked me this, I would think the exact same thing. I mean, it probably would have never even crossed his mind that she would do something like this had she not even brought it up. So without missing a beat, he took her suggestion to also take advantage of this temporary open relationship status and have his way with the cute girl that he worked with. And of course, a month later, when her neighbor sent her an email, I mean, reality slapped her in the face when she learned about her weak beta boyfriend with zero options besides her was anything but that. In fact, he was the exact opposite. And what you have to pay attention to here is that without him having to say a word, he communicated his high value and self-worth to her. And this, my friends, is exactly how you demonstrate your value to women, by your actions. Trying to convince her with your words, or even trying to convince her at all, is only going to cause her to question your value. And obviously, if you're just learning this stuff, you may have to consciously think about how to handle certain situations, which is normal. But if you keep plugging along, these sort of actions are just going to come natural to you, and you're not even going to have to think about it. Because if you have value, you don't have to consciously prove yourself. You just are high value, and you naturally demonstrate it on a regular basis by simply being yourself. However, this also means that you must always be self-improving yourself, internalizing what you learn here and what you learn elsewhere from other coaches, and obviously practicing game. And if you do this, not only will you naturally attract beautiful women into your life, I mean, they will be drawn to you, they will chase you, and they will even stick around. But your peers will too. I mean, they will have nothing but respect for you and want to be around you. And of course, this will spill over into all areas of your life. And it's all because you strive to be the best man you could be. You stand up for yourself when it's called for. And you're always moving forward, putting your goals and your ambitions first. And this story, I mean, feel free to reread it, because I can't think of a better example. And who knows if this story is even true, but it doesn't matter. Because like I said, it's the perfect example on how you handle a situation like this when a girl is just throwing you one whopper of a test. And this really was a whopper of a test. Most guys would have handled this by breaking down or getting angry and forbidding her, or breaking down and crying and begging and pleading. Believe me, most guys would do this. I talked to a lot of guys, and this is mostly how they would handle it. But this guy, he was just like, hey, I can't stop you, but if you're going to do this, I'm doing it too. And I think it really taught her a lesson. I guarantee if they survived this, I guarantee that she will never, ever pull anything like this again. So if you guys have found this video of value, or any of my videos of value, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and for you to share it with any of your friends and family who may also find it helpful to them. And I would also really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button down below and tick that little bell symbol that's next to it, so you get real-time notifications of when I upload new videos. And in the description down below the link that I posted to this story, I also have a link to my contact page and to my coaching page, as well as a link to PayPal if you'd like to make a donation. I really appreciate all you guys who have stuck around to the end of this video, and I will catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.